Hello and namaste everyone. First of all, we like to thank Super Grandmaster Anish Giri for playing a simul game with the 30 top player of Nepal. Thank you very much, Mr. Anish Giri, for giving his time and helping us to get more and more interested and get motivated in chess. Anish Giri played simul with the 30 Nepalese player and out of which 4 players drew the game, whereas a player named as Mr. Kshitiz Bhandari had the winning position, but he offered Anish Giri, Super Grandmaster Anish Giri, a draw, and the game ended with draw. Today we are with a video of Kshitiz Bhandari and Anish Giri. The game played between Kshitiz Bhandari and Anish Giri. Anish Giri had a winning position somehow. He had to think a lot, but playing a simul game and thinking for one game is not possible. Made a blunder and then had to come back with the losing position. However, Kshitiz Bhandari for him draw and he ended with draw. Let's go towards the game. What has happened in the game? Let's go for it. E4 was played by Anish Giri. All the board were played white by Anish Giri, and most of the board he played E4. E4 was the first move that was played by Anish Giri, and E5 was played by Kshitiz Bhandari. D6 was played, knight b d2, knight b d2. Whenever there is c3 played, then knight to c3 cannot be played and knight to b d2 should be played. The idea is very simple: knight to f1 and then after knight to g3, trying to bring all the pieces towards the king side rather than playing on the queen side. Castle was played, castle, bishop to back to b6, bishop back to b3, bishop e6. Yes, here black tries to exchange the important bishop of white such that it cannot target the f7 pawn, and bishop back to c2, while white do not want to exchange his bishop. A6 was then played as 3 at 6. Rook to e1. The planning is again knight to f1 and then after knight to g3. Knight e7, knight f1, knight g3, then after knight g6, then after knight to g3 was played. Rook e8, d4. Here bishop to c2 can only be opened by d4. Just open the diagonal of the bishop on the h7 and target the h7 square. After the c6 was played, bishop to e3, bishop back to c7, queen to d2, d5 was then played. Here black too want to open the c7 bishop to the h2 diagonal. Knight captures in the e5, bishop captured in the e5, d captures in the e5, and knight captures in the e5 was played. Bishop captured in the h6. Whoa, this is the interesting sacrifice, and after this moment here white was in the winning position, but he did missed it. We'll be looking at the winning position and where did he missed it and how he had the losing position. Now we have d captures in the e4. After queen captures in the d8, rook captures in the d8, then bishop goes back to g5, and here white has some advantage pinning the knight on the f6. After here knight to d3 was played, bishop captures in the f6, knight captures in the e1, rook captures in the e1, g captures in the f6, then after knight captures in the e4, king to g7, rook to e3 was played, bishop to f5. Here white gives an exchange. Instead of giving the exchange, white could play the another line. Anish Giri didn't see of knight captures in the e1, then after knight to c2. Here if bishop captures, then bishop cannot capture in the d8 because knight captures in the e1, and then after knight captures in the c2. So here the best move was rook to d1. Just protect the rook and just simply play for the win. Here knight cannot do anything over here. Another knight is pinned. Pawn is hanging on the e4. That's why here black had somehow bad position than white. If the pawn is defended, how can the pawn be defended? Bishop goes backward. If it goes back, and try to defend, then there will be knight captures in the e4 again, because the knight on the c3 is still hanging. After knight captures in the e4, rook captures in the e4, then after either rook captures in the d3 or bishop captures in the d3, attacks the rook on the file, and then after rook goes back, and here white is a pawn up and simply winning position. But in the game it was played bishop captures in the bishop capture on the f6, then after knight captures in the e1, rook captures in the e1, and then after pawn captures in the f6. Looking this position, black is in extends up, and the position where white had better position, now black is in the winning, and somehow around minus 1.83 for black. We'll see how the game ended with draw, at which position Kshitiz Bhandari, FM Kshitiz Bhandari offered the draw. We'll look at that one as well, and of course we'll congratulate Kshitiz Bhandari for making such a wonderful draw with the Super Grandmaster. Knight captures in the e4 was played by Anish Giri, king to g7, rook to e3, bishop to f5, pinning the knight. a4 was played, bishop captures in the e4, bishop captures in the e4, after rook to d2 attacks the pawn on the b2, b4 was then played, a5, b captures a5, rook to a8, rook g3, king f8, and here is the moment where Kshitiz Bhandari afforded draw, and it was easily accepted by Super Grandmaster Anish Giri. Most probably Kshitiz Bhandari was in the time trouble. He had around only 3 minutes in his clock, whereas of course Anish Giri was playing simul, so he had around 2 hours in his clock. So Kshitiz Bhandari just thought for a while and just thought it would be great to draw a Super Grandmaster by FM of 2000 rated player just drew a game with the 2700 Super Grandmaster, and it is the very wonderful moment for us, and of course for all the Nepalese player and all the Nepalese community. Thank you everyone, and thank you again for Super Grandmaster Anish Giri for giving us the chance to play with him, and we look forward for more such games and also more different videos that will motivate us and also help us to increase our level and at least to gain an IM for Nepal. Thank you and bye bye. Hope you all have subscribed our channel and you will be liking the video. We'll be coming back with the more other games with the Super Grandmaster Anish Giri, and we will be uploading it in our YouTube channels, so please do subscribe our channel to get notified with the all other videos. Thank you and bye bye.